here is what I believe to be the only picture that got out so far in public of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's wedding. Now, I also have some documents here written by a friend of Johnny of 33 years who says that his friends, meaning Johnny's friends, always suspected something strange about Amber. Something was wrong. And in this picture, yeah, Johnny's got a little smile, but if you look closely, he kind of looks tired. He kind of looks like worn out a little bit. He does not look like, this is my fucking wedding. He's more like, smiling for the camera. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have known friends who you've known your whole life, and you've thought, at times, this is just not the person that they should be with. I've thought that about a couple of my friends. I have a few in mind. Not everybody, but I'm sure you guys know once in a while the relationship happens and a lot of the people close to the person are talking like, this probably ain't gonna work out. So let's take a look at these documents. I gotta give you guys a head up. It's a little blurry, but I wanted to keep the original documents the way they were, so I'm gonna open it up in the Microsoft desktop, not like a fancy Photoshop. Okay, let's take a look. So here we see it. This is from Josh Richmond, and it is the declaration he gave to the court. He confirms in part 1 he's over 18. We got that. Pretty simple. He says in part 2 he's known Johnny Depp for about 33 years. And for the friends I've had for about 33 years, I know them pretty well, I'd say. And there's a few of them. He then confirms in 3 he attended Johnny's wedding in the Bahamas. Let's read number 4. None of the few of Johnny's actual friends who attended were happy Johnny was marrying Amber, and we discussed it openly. The general view of his friends, which I shared, although we hardly knew the full details then, were that Amber Heard emotionally abused and tormented Johnny, cut him away from his real friends, and was emotionally cruel to him. He always seemed to live in fear of how she would act if he ever tried to break up with her, which we now know came true, and his fears were correct. His family, friends, and I always felt he succumbed to Amber's demand that he marry her for this reason, among others like it. Sounds pretty accurate when you think about all the stuff over these last years and months and weeks we've heard about Amber. It's all so consistent when it's on the side of Johnny. He continues, one of the few specific incidents we knew in particular raised my and his other friends' concern. We, and certainly I, knew from Johnny that prior to the wedding, that on a night they had an argument, Johnny recounted to me Amber went into the bathroom and she came out with a Kleenex with red on it, saying he had given her a bloody nose. But after the incident, he retrieved the Kleenex, which he says he still has to this day. Amber Heard had placed red nail polish on the Kleenex. Sounds like something she would do. It was incidents like this of which his friends knew only a fraction that made us concerned for his welfare in this marriage. Like maybe she's gonna pull some hoax and divorce him for his money, something like that. Anyone who has known Johnny for a long time or even briefly would notice that he is a uniquely chivalrous, kind, and thoughtful person who treats every human being the same, is always helping people, and doesn't like to harm even the feelings of other people. Which, when he talks, look, I don't know the guy. I'm the furthest person from actually knowing him in real life. I'm here in Tokyo, but when you hear him speak, it really does sound like he's got that modesty and that shyness. I remember that Amber, her sister, and friends seemed inebriated, whatever that word is, man, or drugged out through much of the wedding weekend, meaning they were fucked up, let's just say quite simply. The day before the wedding, Amber Heard's friend and member of her wedding party, Io Tillett Wright, violently assaulted another member of her wedding party, Rocky Pennington, during an argument about wedding details and who was essentially going to assume the role of wedding planner and carry out Amber's frivolous missives. Had a little pop-up there. They want me to reset my computer. We're not going to do that right now. They were all like a bunch of spoiled children acting out this charade of a wedding at great expense to Johnny, whom we all knew was more than, I cannot read that word, and shamed into proceeding with Amber's demand to be married before Johnny was to depart shortly to film abroad. Yeah, so she wants to get married right away. It's got to get over with. She's not like, okay, let's play it natural. We're in love. No, got to get married. Got to get this out of the way. Got to pick the right people for the wedding planner. All that kind of thing. Most or all the wedding guests on this tiny island heard about this violent incident. During the weekend, unlike the rest of Amber's friends, I had found Io clever and funny and got along well with him/her. After she/he beat up Rocky, a lot of guests were all hanging out at the bar, and I asked Io what happened. She laughed, and Rocky was being. Before we continue, I'm assuming that Io is a transgender, okay? Which doesn't mean anything. I don't really give a shit. All I care about is what type of person he/she is, and it seems like they're an abuser also. Hysterical about wedding planning, crying and carrying on, she/he offered the facts gladly that she physically assaulted Rocky. Io was laughing and gloating about this incident. Sounds like Amber's hanging out with friends who are just like she is. I then gave Io a funny nickname based on the rapper ASAP Rocky, I Slap Rocky. Many of the wedding guests and Io's girlfriends called Io I Slap Rocky for the rest of the weekend. Io was quite proud of this and seemed to find it hilarious, like a badge of honor. So, looks like this confession here really tells us that Johnny's friends, I'm assuming like this guy here, Johnny's got a dozen other friends who feel the same exact way, and everybody saw on that island that Amber's friends were acting crazy. They couldn't decide on things. They didn't give a shit about like Amber actually marrying this legendary movie star, the relationship, making a happy wedding, setting a good atmosphere. They cared about fighting. Who's going to do what? Get this plan to go through. Get them married. Get to the next phase. That's what it feels like to me. So you guys, let me know what you think about this down below. It's no secret that probably most of us following this case are also following Incredibly Average, the channel. I'll link him below because he's got a ton of details on this. But this is one of the things I found to be like a main point here. And for me and the things I do, I like to dive into just a personal level. So I just found it really odd that Amber's friends acted the way they did. And I didn't find it odd. I found it, very fitting that Johnny's friends, like I said in the beginning of the video, had the feeling about her. Like a lot of times, you guys, as you know, have the feeling about sometimes a boyfriend or girlfriend that's not quite right for your friend. So, let's do some shoutouts. Shout out to Belicia Alfonso. Thank you for support on Twitter and at my channel. Thank you to Kat, I think that's her name, on YouTube. Appreciate the support. And that's it. If you guys have not subscribed, consider subscribing. I'm doing, of course, Amber Heard vs. Johnny Depp, also pop culture, celeb stuff, whatever comes up, Japan vlogs. And if you don't subscribe, I guess I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. That's life. See you next time.
If you are not subscribed to this channel, The Entertainment Hacker, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button now.